You, um, Good morning. I'm sorry, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for our free Philly Pre-K, PHL Pre-K family webinar today. I'm going to turn it over to Medea Pruitt, who is our Family Engagement Coordinator here with Free Philly Pre-K, and she will guide us through today's presentation.
Good afternoon. Welcome, Pre-K families. We are going to start with introductions. My name is Medea Pruitt, and I am the Family Engagement Coordinator over here at PHL Pre-K. And I am going to turn it over to Alana.
Let's see next slide.
Not yet on.
So,
I'm sorry. I'm just excited. So the first question is, what would you like to learn about registering and preparing your child for kindergarten? So we're trying to be intentional about creating webinars and things like that. So think about what questions you would like to know about registering and preparing your child for kindergarten. And if by chance we are not able to answer that question, we will work to answer that. We will take those ideas into consideration for other webinars and things like that.
I'll go back. So if you can in the chat, please add what those questions will be so that we can try to make sure we address them today. And again, if not, we'll try to offer other webinars that can make sure they are answered. So one question says, when does registration open? Again, whatever questions you have, just drop them all in there and we'll be sure to circle back to them. Okay.
We share out our family corner with families. So there's great information about kindergarten, all of the resources, the timelines, things for you to be mindful of, fun activities for you to do at home with your little ones. Just a heads up for anyone who is applying or would like to apply for school district school sites outside of their catchment. The deadline to apply is October 23rd at 11:59 p.m. And if you are registering for, or you would like to register for a Philly charter school, that deadline is January 20th. Just dates for you to be mindful of. Also, this webinar is being recorded and it will be shared out in our next family corner. Also, we are sharing the kindergarten registration school timeline, which gives you all of the information for deadlines for both catchment and out of catchment, in addition to charter schools. Private schools, Catholic schools, or private charter schools, they have different deadlines, so you need to reach out to them directly to find out what their timelines are for you to apply and what those deadlines are. Okay, wait. I didn't give Alana a chance to introduce herself. I'm sorry. We're going to learn about kindergarten options, and I'm now going to turn it over to Alana and Riley so they can introduce themselves and we can begin.
Hi, hi, my name is Alana Galley. I'm the Director of Access Initiatives at Elevate 215. My colleague Riley
Hi, my name is Riley. I am the coordinator of access initiatives at Elevate 215. Let me get my screen shared.
While Riley's getting our presentation ready, we run various initiatives that support families in increasing access to the schools of their choice. So we'll walk through applying to kindergarten, but we'll also show you that some of our resources that can be of assistance to you.
All right, welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. So first, we're going to walk through the different types of schools and the various application timelines depending on school types. Next, we're going to talk about exploring your school options with Philly Schools Compass. And then finally, we're going to walk through applying to district schools, applying to participating charter schools with Apply Philly Charter, and then applying to independent charters and private schools. So first, there are two primary categories of schools in Philadelphia, which are public schools and private schools. Within public schools, you have schools in the school district of Philadelphia, and you have charter schools. District schools primarily feature catchment schools. These are also known as neighborhood schools. They're assigned based on your address. And district schools also have citywide and special admission / criteria-based schools. Those two types are primarily for high schools. So for kindergarten registration, really what you have to worry about is catchment / neighborhood schools. Then for charter schools, we have traditional charter schools as well as Renaissance schools. Renaissance schools are catchment schools that are operated by a charter school operator, and they serve students, again, like a catchment / neighborhood school. They serve students from within that designated boundary. And they may enroll students from outside of their catchment on lottery, but that's dependent on the individual school. Then for private schools, we have Catholic schools that are run by the Archdiocese of Philadelphia, and we have independent private schools that run their own individual process. So the application timeline for kindergarten, your child must be 5 years old by September 1st of the school year that you're applying to. So for 2026-27, your child should be 5 years old by September 1st, 2026. So it's recommended that when your child is 3 years old, you begin researching your school options and start attending open houses. There are various timelines for open houses, but the district runs their open houses primarily between March and May. Now, when your child is 4 years old, this is when you can start applying to district schools other than your catchment school. That process is typically open between September and November. For this year, it opened on September 8th and it closes on October 23rd. And again, that is to apply to district schools other than your catchment school. To enroll at your catchment district school, registration begins on January 20th, 2026 and goes until the end of May. It is recommended to complete it as soon as possible because seats are limited. To apply to Apply Philly Charter participating schools, the application opened on September 19th and is open until January 20th, 2026. And finally, to apply to private schools and non-Apply Philly Charter participating charter schools, these have various timelines, which we'll go over a little bit later. Before you start exploring your school options, it's important to assess your students' individual needs by considering things like what school sizes are ideal for your child, what classroom sizes are ideal for your child. Would they benefit from smaller class sizes maybe? Will your child benefit from social emotional support programs? Does your child need learning accommodations? And are there any specialties that your child needs to thrive in school? From there, you should also define your own school priorities. What neighborhoods are you considering sending your child to school in? What types of schools are you interested in, be it public district, public charter, Catholic schools, independent private schools? What aspects of a school matter most to you? Maybe it's a STEM-heavy curriculum or an African-American centered curriculum. And what commute time are you willing to do to get to school? So with all of these priorities and needs in mind, this is when you can really start exploring your options to find a few that work for you. So I'm going to jump over to, can you still see my screen? Awesome. I'm going to jump.
No, I cannot. Yes.
Okay. This is the Philly Schools Compass website. It is a new comprehensive information hub that is really designed to empower Philly families with the tools to make informed education decisions. So I'm going to go through the 3 different ways that you can search the Philly Schools Compass website for different school options. So when you come onto the homepage, you're going to see this Guide Me feature here. And if you click Learn More, this is where you can begin that guided search experience. So first you're going to enter your zip code. I'm going to do 19146. You can check off the grade levels that you're interested in exploring. So let's do K since we're here for kindergarten. You can check off any neighborhoods that you're interested in. I'm going to check off just a couple so we can get a whole bunch of options here. And then finally, you can check off those different school types that you're interested in looking at. So I'm going to check off our public district neighborhood. Let's look at some public charter and maybe some private independent schools. And so once you click submit, your preferences have been saved and it's going to pull up a list of schools that meet all of these preferences and those neighborhoods and zip codes that you inputted. So once you get that list, you can click into an individual school. You can find things like their mission. You can see what kind of school it is, their address, their website, other contact info, points of pride. You can see their total enrollment, their student demographics. You can see what some of their achievement data looks like on standardized testing and other things like that. You can see their admissions policy and when to apply, as well as a direct link to apply, some important staff info, and some other logistics and operational info. So now I'm going to go through the second way to search our site. If you go to the schools page, I'm going to clear out these filters. We have these filters over here on the left-hand side, so you can also complete those there. I know that we're looking for kindergarten, and let's say I'm really interested in a school where my child can do cheer. So you can search by keyword here, and that's going to search our profiles. Alliance for Progress Charter School, for instance, they are an Apply Philly Charter participating school. If we scroll down, you can see that they have cheerleading as their sports programs. So if you're looking for something in particular, feel free to use that keyword search. You can also search by the school's name, a zip code, or grade level. And then finally, our last way to search. If you create an account, you can save your schools and you can also go here to search preferences. And this is where, again, you can input these specific search preferences so that every time you use our search tool, it's going to have those preferences saved and pull schools that only meet those preferences. Finally, I'm going to show you guys our resources page from the home page. If you go to Discover Resources, on here we have a full cross-sector school selection timeline. So you can see the dates that, for instance, the school district school selection application opens and closes. You can see when the Children's Scholarship Fund scholarship application opens and closes, and when the Apply Philly Charter application opens and closes. On here, we also have linked out relevant resources like the School District of Philadelphia's Office of Student Placement and Enrollment, Apply Philly Charter, the Archdiocese application page for elementary and high schools, the Charter Schools Office, etc., as well as the PHL Pre-K website. So I'm going to take us back and finish off. So applying to district schools, I will start with a caveat that we at Philly Schools Compass are not contracted by the district. We are not a part of the school district. We are an information hub that really tries to increase accessibility to schools and help people understand the school selection timeline. So if you have specific questions about the school district's application process, we recommend visiting that website to the school district's Office of Enrollment and Student Placement, and you can have any any questions answered there if we cannot answer them. So the school district school selection process opened on September 8th and closes on October 23rd at 11:59 p.m. This school selection process gives students from pre-K all the way through 11th grade the opportunity to apply to attend any school with available space outside of their designated catchment school for the 2026-27 school year. This does not include registration for your catchment school. Registration for your catchment school begins January 20th, 2026, online or in person at your school. The district school selection application allows each applicant to rank their top 5 school choices by your personal preference. And it's really, really important to remember to choose a total of 5 schools. Limiting the number of schools that you rank is not going to improve your chances of receiving an offer. In fact, your chances will decrease. So it's really important to choose and rank 5 total schools on the district's application. Each applicant through this process is going to receive either 1 or 0 offers during the initial response phase, and you will only remain on the wait list for schools that you ranked higher and didn't receive an offer. So for instance, if you receive an offer to the school that you ranked number 3, you're only going to stay on the wait list for schools that you ranked number 2 and number 1. The school district is hosting a couple of different application assistance labs throughout the month of October before the application closes on the 23rd. One at the Philadelphia High School for Girls, CCA Baldy, Lewis Elkin, Fitler Academics Plus, and then at the school district's headquarters at 440 North Broad Street. I don't believe that registration is required for these, but please feel free to, again, check out the school district's Office of Enrollment and Student Placement website for more information on these assistance labs. So I'm going to pass it over to Alana now, and she will do applying with Apply Philly Charter. Do you want me to unshare?
Yeah. That's the same presentation. Thank you, Riley. And I do want to note, we see all of your questions in the chat, and we will definitely get to them by the end, I'm told by Jennifer. So I'm going to move on with applying to Apply Philly Charter Schools. So Riley started with a disclaimer that we are not the district, but we are the organization that does run Apply Philly Charter. So we can answer questions there if you have them more specifically. So Apply Philly Charter is a common application that has 77 participating charter schools. You can apply to them all in one application. It is a voluntary application, so I would say we have about 80% of the charter schools in the city, and there are some charter schools that don't participate. So if you log onto our application wanting to apply to a certain school and you don't see them, I would suggest, you can ask us and we can verify yes or no, but I would visit that school's website to see how to apply. We'll talk about that more after. This year, we have a new ranking system very similar to the district, meaning you'll select up to 15 schools. That's something a little different about the charter school application. You're not limited to 5, you're limited to 15. You don't have to select 15, but after you select them, we'll be able to rank them in order of preference, and ranking matters. We suggest that you really truly put which school you want the most first. The application opened 2 weeks ago on September 19th, and it is open through January. So the charter school application is kind of a nice second round. If you really had your heart set on a district school and didn't get it, you will at least know and have until January to submit your charter school application. So right now we're in the window, and because it's a rank and match lottery where you'll only be matched, you won't get multiple offers, we suggest researching your school options. I saw some questions about open houses in the chat. you'll want to visit open houses, visit Philly Schools Compass, do what you can to learn about what you want for your child now, before these lotteries. And our lotteries run in February, and families are notified that first Friday in February of lottery results. I'm going to do a quick demo of how you can apply to Apply Philly Charter School. I have to switch my share, correct? Right. We see Apply Philly Charter now. Okay. Oops. It's the wrong window. Sorry. All right. It's the wrong window again. Sorry. Here we go. I'm sorry. Oh, I keep going to the wrong account. I have too many windows open. I'm going to share all of them, and then you can see and go to the right one. All right, Riley, can we see this now? Okay. So when you go to Apply Philly Charter, you want to click this yellow apply button, and it'll take you to a login. You create an account if you don't have one. If you do, you can create a family profile. Because I do this application, I have a lot of test children. Hopefully you won't have this many, but I'm going to show you how to apply for September 2026. So Apply Philly Charter uses for current year, like if you wanted to go to apply to a school for tomorrow and enroll next week, you would apply for current year. If you're applying for September 2026, you want to make sure you press that button. You put in all your children's information, your address, and it will know your catchment, which is important. You can put in your child's current school. You do not have to share if you don't want, but since this is kindergarten, we're probably applying for pre-K. I believe this child has a second grade birthday, so I'm going to apply to second grade, but the whole process is the same. So this is what the page looks like when you're when you're selecting your schools. It informs you can select up to 15 schools, and on the next page you will rank. Like I said, if there's a school that you do not see on here, you can check here if it participates in our application. If not, I would suggest going to that school's website. We'll always tell you if you're in catchment for something. Riley explained earlier, there's Renaissance charter schools, which are neighborhood schools operated by a charter operator. So this address I put in, my neighborhood school is Universal Alcorn. It tells me that. Charter schools also have like priorities and preferences. So your address will tell you, the application will tell you if you have a zip code preference. So this child that I have in here happens to have a zip code preference for this specific mastery school. So I'm definitely going to select that one because I have a better chance of getting in. But I'm going to select a couple of random schools. I should select my Renaissance school because I know that I'm guaranteed, dependent on space, to get in there. The cool thing about this app is you can select schools and then you can click see your schools on a map. And it shows you based from your home how far all of these schools that you selected are. I think it's kind of a nice feature, seeing how long the commute is from your home or from your work. And, I know kindergarten's a big change, so it kind of helps you get the lay of the land that way. Once you're happy with your selections, you can click next and it'll take you to the ranking page. You'll get this little note that rankings matter. I said earlier, you want to truly rank in your true preferences where your child wants to go, because the way the lottery algorithm works is it will seek to give you your highest choice possible. So what you do, you'll have your lottery schools here, and you can drag and drop. If I really, really want people for people, I'll put it first, and then I know I have a good chance at Thomas, so I'll keep it second. But if I change my mind, I can drag these other ones to the top, and you want to make sure you're in true preference. If you apply to a Renaissance school, they are neighborhood schools, so they don't run lotteries, and they'll show you down here. And I am in catchment for this one. You can apply to a lottery school that's not yours. There's just a potential you'll be waitlisted or marked ineligible, meaning, they only take catchment students unless they have space. So if you're not in catchment for a neighborhood school, this would say no down here. I would click Save and Next. You can always go back. I'm going to click back. I changed my mind. I really want people for first. You can even go back to the school selection page. I'm going to go back and say, oh, I really wanted Alliance for Progress. I forgot to add it. I'm going to add that, and it'll drop it into my list of schools, and I can reorder it. But I still want people for people first. I want to bring Alliance for Progress up. So it's a really user-friendly, allows for flexibility and mind changing. Charter schools have priorities, meaning some of them offer priorities to siblings. Some of them offer priorities, if you're, or related to a staff member. So this page is for entering if you have a sibling preference or a staff preference, and then the school will verify or reject the preference depending on, if it's accurate. So this is where you enter all of those, and you click Save and Next. Forgot a field. Let's say Riley's in 4th grade. And this is your summary. It gives you a whole long summary of your information, your ranks, your Renaissance school if you claim preferences. And then to submit, you just click these, which means you're agreeing that you've provided correct information, and your rankings are in correct order, etc. This yellow button submits it, and you'll get a nice green success button. You can always go back until the deadline of our application and edit. So if you attended an open house and you want to add a school, you can go through and add that school. And you'll just have to make sure you resubmit so it changes it. That's what's really nice about this application. It allows for flexibility within the window. So it doesn't matter, if you applied on the 19th, you can go back in on January 19th and change it, and you still have the same exact chances in the lottery. So that is the charter school Apply Philly charter application. I'm going to go back to our presentation. Hopefully it won't take me as long to find it this time. There it is. Right. You see my screen, Riley? All right. So you can log in at any time before the deadline. Once the lotteries run, you log back in to accept any seat offers and view any waitlist positions made. Our application's available in multiple languages, and we have a helpline during all business hours to answer questions or help with application submission. The way Riley explained the waitlist for the district is the same way the waitlist will work for Apply Philly Charter. If you apply to 5 schools in the lottery and you get matched at your 3rd school, you get an offer there, you'll remain on the wait list of schools you wanted more. So you'll remain on your 2nd and your 1st choice, but you won't remain on your 4th and your 5th. So it's really important to, order your schools in the way that you want and make choices, apply to the schools that you really want. So if you want to apply to an independent charter school that does not participate in Apply Philly Charter, they all run their own independent application processes. There's no additional common application unless it's some sort of charter network that might run something together, but otherwise they're all independent processes. And they vary by school. They generally have a similar window, but I would use Philly Schools Compass to research those timelines. And I always suggest when we get questions about non-participating charter schools, I would just suggest visiting their website, calling them, asking about open houses. That's the best way to get the information on those schools. If you are interested in private schools, they charge tuition, and we do suggest applying early to be considered for financial aid and seek scholarships. Very much like independent charter schools, each private school runs its own application process and deadlines vary. So again, I would research those options carefully, check those websites, call those schools, and we also encourage you to use Philly Schools Compass to get good initial information. Children's Scholarship Fund is an organization that offers scholarships to kindergarten through 8th grade students based on financial need. So their mission is to help under-resourced Philadelphia families afford private school for up to 3 children. So you can apply for this mid-September through March 1st. But applying before November 15th gives you the best chance at being selected. So now is the time. So we link Children's Scholarship Fund on Philly Schools Compass. We suggest visiting that, researching it, apply before November 15th. You must live in Philadelphia and have a child entering K through 8th grade, and their website lists the guidelines. We encourage you to visit our website and contact us with any questions. We check our info box regularly. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Now we're going to work to go through the questions. Riley, I see you were answering some, so thank you. Again, if we don't know the answer, we'll make sure that we put in the next family corner, but we do want to make sure that we answer what we can. So when does registration open? Registration is open for most schools, so you want to make sure you do apply. It sounds like earlier better because of the lottery piece, and make sure that you are putting as many options as you can on your application. Does the charter school and public schools have different deadlines? Yes, as shared today. And again, this presentation will also share in the family corner, in the same email of how you learned about today's presentation. If you did not receive the email and someone shared it with you, you can drop your email in the chat and I'll make sure to add you to the next newsletter that goes out. For a lottery spot outside of catchment, does it matter when you apply before the deadline, or is it just a lottery? Isn't first come, first served?
Jennifer, I can only speak for charter schools, but it does not matter when within our window you apply, because it's a lottery, so it's not first come, first serve. You have the same chance if you apply in September as you do in January, as long as you're within the window. We have a post deadline application window that opens at the end of February. That does matter when you apply. If you missed the lottery or you didn't get a seat in the lottery that you wanted, you can apply to as many schools as you want. And then again, I'm talking about the Apply Philly Charter application. You can apply to as many schools as you want post deadline, but you'll likely be placed on a wait list and it's first come, first serve. I still encourage people to do that, even if you're placed on a wait list. Schools are pulling from their wait list all spring and all summer, trying to fill their seats until the school year starts.
Awesome. So the next question says, if the district school is not on the list of schools to pick, do we apply to them individually through the district school website? So if it's a district school, it should be on the listing. If it's not, then we want to, let the school district know that the school is not listed and kind of find out, could be a glitch. Computers, are great and not great at the same time sometimes. Is attendance affected when taking your child to interviews? If you're talking about taking your child who's currently in pre-K to a school to see the school, no, it's not affected. Simply let your provider know that you're trying to explore what school is best for your family. We strongly encourage that, even when we're doing intake, for families trying to find a pre-K location, I always encourage, find a school that works best for you. I know you like your neighborhood, but the neighborhood school might not work. So do interview to find out if it's a good fit for you and your family. If your child is currently 4 and they turn 5 after September 1st, yes, you do have to wait till the next year. That is the policy for their enrollment. You have to be 5 by September 1st. So you would do another year pre-K. Unfortunately, like PHO pre-K only sometimes you could work it out where you can get some support with covering it, because I understand coming out of pocket for another year could be overwhelming and stressful. Riley answered this. Yeah, I lost my spot. Okay, I found it. Okay. If I put the application in for my catchment school already, it won't be considered till January. Riley shared the current school selection application for the district does not include registration for your catchment school. You will have to complete the registration starting on January 20th. And she shared a link. That's a good link for you to go to get some resources. The school district also has like a little contact us where you can send them a message and someone will get back in contact with you when you go to that link. I have the same cue for the charter lottery, which is whether when you apply within the time the application is open matters or does it not matter, are a lottery spot chances of getting your top pick as long as you apply within the open process. Again, for apply Philly charters, Riley put as long as you apply by the deadline, the time that you apply does not matter. Again, all in all, because you are putting them in order, you want to apply as soon as possible to try to get that seat, so that when they do open up, they'll fill up those seats first. As shared though, they do go to those wait lists. If somebody is still waiting and another family decides they no longer want to go to that school, they do work to enroll that next child on the listing. What is the selection process for outside of catchment? And again, just reading them in case you didn't read in the comments, make sure we all get it. The district school selection application takes into account your ranking, random lottery number, and priority group. For instance, if you have a sibling attending the school you're applying to, they do work to keep those siblings together. The algorithm seeks to assign you to your highest ranked school based on those factors. So it doesn't matter when you apply in terms of lottery number. Nope, your random lottery number will not be impacted by the time you apply. Is there a chance that our child will get accepted to the third school if on a wait list for the first and second? It is possible. The policy is always if we can't get you in your first or second, even at pre-K, we try to get you somewhere. So they will try to get you there. You can actually be on a wait list at the first or second choice, but the key is that we're again just trying to get you somewhere so that you can go to school. How can we find information about a school's process and programs for gifted and talented? I believe that testing happens in second grade, but it will be helpful to know in advance. Good question. As Riley shared, contact the school district's Office of Special Education and Diverse Learners. We also will be hosting a webinar with the Institute on Disabilities at Temple University. And that's a webinar that's going to be able to support families as well and give you some resources because those families have leave that program. When applying on Apply Philly Charter and you didn't pick enough schools, can you go back? Yes, you can go back and edit. Now, another question, ladies, is the application locked or can they automatically just go in at any time to change their application?
You can go in at any time during the window. So it will lock on the 20th of January. Yep. But then on February 24th, it will reopen for post deadline, which is a brand new application, but still for the 26-27 school year.
Got you. So if it locks, if somebody does want to change or say, I forgot to update, I only had one school, how can they update their application?
Okay, so like I said, during the window, you just press that edit button like I showed you. If you missed it and it locks on January 20th, there's no way to edit. You're only going to be run through the lottery for that one school you chose, but we encourage you to log back in post deadline and you would create a whole new application. You can apply to 20 schools in post deadline if you want.
Okay.
So that's why we just suggest like during this window, be very careful about your choices. You can edit as many times as you want, but make sure you're checking your work because after January 20th, there are no edits.
Got you. Just wanted to clarify. So
Yes, I'm glad you asked. Yeah.
if you did your application, please go in today and make whatever updates you need so that you don't lose that. If you already completed the Philly School District school choice application, do you need to complete another application here? Again, only if you're interested in applying to a school of a different type, meaning a charter school you want to apply through Apply Philly Charter. Can I apply to both public and charter schools? Yes, you can. Again, you're trying to find what best works for your family. So you can see all options to see which is best for you. Any specific documents required? Nope. When you apply with Apply Philly Charter, you will provide your address information, student date of birth. If you receive and accept a seat offer, paperwork is collected directly by the school during the enrollment process. Again, just because you complete the application online, there are some other documents that the school may need. Typical physicals, emergency contact, all those different documents, proof of age, proof of birth, they may ask for it. So you want to just make sure that you do have those documents. How can we find out if a certain schools are STEM-based? Visit the school's website or their profile on phillyschoolscampus.org. And again, I always do hats off to Philly Schools Campus because it is like your school Bible. Every school is listed to get you a lot of details. As she said, if you were interested in cheer, you could type that in and let you know what schools offer that. So they did a lot of research on the schools to help you. So that's your guidebook to say, is that where I want to go? Is that not where I want to go? If it's something you're specifically looking for, you want to make sure that you check it out to see what your options are. How can I learn about the various kindergartens? Are there open houses or times folks can visit? Yes. On the link shared, they have shared of their upcoming open houses, where you can go to the different schools, meet the teachers, and see how you like the programs. If my child turns 5, where do I apply for kindergarten? Again, you must be 5 on or by September 1st. So you will apply for that next school year. Did you say both public and charter is better to pick 5? Yes. Again, as many options as you have, you want to fill them up. And again, go in the rank order of which ones you prefer to be at, all the way down. And that's all of our questions. Cool, cool, cool. Got it. So again, grateful we was able to answer most of the questions noted here. Again, we do have some more webinars coming up. We will have the school district come and present a webinar where they'll guide you through completing your application online. So that'll be helpful. And again, I shared about the Institute on Disabilities at Temple University. They also support with children that are receiving specialized services because you want to make sure it's a smooth transition if you have any IEPs or special services in place. Again, it's amazing because it's ran by parents. So they had been through the process, so they know some loopholes to kind of help you out. So keep your eye out for that, as that will be listed in the family newsletter once it is confirmed. Last but not least, if we do thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, be sure to email us at phlprek@pwc.org. I'm putting that in the chat, and we'll be sure to get back to you. We thank you all so much for attending. Again, this will be recorded, so I can go back to listen to it again, see it again, as well as the presentation. Great Compass. Did I say it right? Philly Compass?
Philly Schools Compass, yeah.
Philly
We
School-
call it the compass just in the office.
I love it. The Compass has shared their
Yeah.
contact information, so by all means, reach out to them. Please do check out their website. I love the revamp. I'm so excited for all that they do over there. Again, that research that they do to really help you find the best school is really important for all of you. So, yeah. So, unless you have any other questions, you all are good to go. And we hope you have a great day and hope you have success in registering your little ones for kindergarten.
Thanks for having us, PHL Pre-K.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you again, everyone.